Happy Monday. Welcome back to Melanie Loves Death Metal. I'm back. It has been a very busy last couple weeks for me. I was traveling on vacation, then it was my birthday, and it was 4th of July, and just so much shit, but I am back to the regular grind this week of back to work and getting new releases, catching up on a lot of the stuff that I've been getting in the mail the last couple weeks. And I want to talk about all new releases today. Every single one of these have come out within the last month or two or weeks. And I'm really excited about it. There's a lot of good music here I'm going to talk about. So it's 2 tapes and then several CDs. So we've got a pretty beefy episode today. I am going to do 2 sound clips for 2 of these releases because I know I'm not going to get copyright stricken or striked or whatever, however you say that, for them. But for the rest of this stuff, it's their bigger label releases, so I'm not even going to try to attempt it. So for the underground stuff, I'm going to do some clips. So if you're familiar with what it sounds like, and if it's something that you'll actually enjoy, a little bit of a brief clip after I talk about these things. So I'm going to try and do that again, try to skirt around some of these copyright things that have been happening to me. Keep it under a certain limit so that the algorithm doesn't pick it up. It's easier with underground stuff. It's not, I don't usually have it happen with smaller labels and stuff like that. And most of the time they're just appreciative that I even talked about it. But some of these bigger labels, they've got these things in place and it flags me, and it's such a pain in the ass to deal with. So most of the time it's like, yeah, here, take my $2 for the video. It's yours. But sometimes they don't even offer that, and they're like, this is your first strike and we're going to take down your channel. But it's gotten a little bit lenient lately. But yeah, it's just annoying things about YouTube. That's the whole reason why I don't play music in the background anymore, because I just don't want to deal with it. I know a lot of people have asked for that in the past, like, hey, why don't you play music in your videos? Every other YouTuber I watch does. And it's like, yeah, but I don't want to deal with it, because in the past I've had music that is picked up, even I thought I was safe from, and it still gave me issues. So I know it's like a common thing for YouTubers, but anyway, I have gone off on a tangent now. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing is I picked this up off of, well, I don't remember what distro I bought this from, so I apologize because I got it a little while ago. But this is a release that came out on Huang Quan Records. I can't say your name. I'm so sorry. I probably butchered the shit out of that. It is a label out of China. They've been pressing some awesome stuff lately, and I wish I could buy more from them. They reissued the Fulci CDs recently, had a really cool Obi strip and stuff like that. But this is a release, Tymvos, don't know how to say your name, butchering it. Band out of Scotland, Scottish death metal, World of Abominations. So this came out, let's see here, pull up my notes here. This came out back in February, at the end of February, and I saw it circulating on the old metal Twitter space because, when it's released Friday, everybody talks about it, what's coming out on that day and what's good. And this was circulating back then. I really, really enjoyed it. Went to the Bandcamp, listened to it, but because it was the label that it is, I didn't get it because the shipping is not too bad, to be honest with you, but I've been really hesitant about buying things internationally lately. I'm one of those people that prefers self-gratification. If I know a label in the US is going to get it, I will just wait it out because then I'll get it faster after I order it. I'm an asshole like that. But a distro got it. I can't remember who it was. I'm blanking right now. I don't remember. Maybe Gurgling Gore? I can't remember. I feel really bad about that. But I finally got it on tape. There is also a CD, and I think there's also a record too, a vinyl record that you can get. But the tape was good enough for me right now. So I like how it has the landscape display on here. And then I'll show you the tape itself. It is like this. What is that? Blue? Like ocean blue? I don't know what it's called, with a little skeleton guy right there. And then it's got the classic old school style of J card on here that I really enjoy. It reminds me of some older releases that I have in my collection. So there you go. There's the band. It's got liner notes and then lyrics on the other side, which are incredibly hard to read because I'm blind as a bat. But this is phenomenal. This has been one of my favorite releases to come out this year, which on that note, I'm streaming on Heavy Metallurgy on Friday. We're going to be talking about our favorite releases that have come out so far this year. I think we're ranking them too. You're definitely going to see this on that video or that stream because I have been listening to this a ton. So what you're going to get with this is it's got a very, very strong Morbid Angel feel to it. At times, I even hear obituary sounding. The vocals sometimes remind me a little bit of Gorgut, just very slightly Gorgut style, but definitely Morbid Angel. That Florida death metal, old school 90s death metal sound is definitely there. It's full of riffs. It's got just really phenomenal guitar riffs. It's got that old school death metal sound to it, and if you're a chaser of that sound, you're gonna absolutely love this album. I've been listening to this a ton for that reason. But if you're a fan of the Morbid Angel obituary scene sound, not necessarily the obituary vocal style, but just the riffs and like the songwriting and how the guitars sound, you'll really, really enjoy this album. It's been one of my favorite releases, like I said, to come out this year, and I'm super happy that I finally have it on a physical format. I would love to have this on vinyl because, like I said, I've been listening to it a ton. But for now, I'm happy for the tape. So yeah, definitely snag this. I'll link the Bandcamp again. I don't remember what distro I got this from. It was either Gurgling Gore or maybe Iron Fortress, or did I get it off of Discogs? I don't remember. I should have looked into this, but there's been US distros that are getting it, but for the most part, it's not too expensive to get it from China. The shipping is actually not that bad, and there's a lot of other quality releases that they've been putting out recently that you can bundle it with. But for me, again, like I'm that person that just, I'll wait. I know it's going to come to the US. I'll get it eventually. So good stuff. Definitely check this out. Again, I probably butchered the band name, but again, band out of Scotland. This is their first full length. They had a demo that came out back in 2021. Never heard of this band before then. Didn't even hear that demo. So just phenomenal underground band. Check them out. And the next underground release that I have, one that kind of snuck up on me, did not pay much mind to it or pay attention to it when it first came out on Rotted Life, and this is Cavern Womb. With a new EP that they just released called Stages of Infinity. So they do have a split that came out with Noxus, which, by the way, their new album came out like 2 weeks ago. Phenomenal. That tape is on the way. You'll be seeing that soon. That's how I know who they're from. But it's a band out of Philadelphia, and this is currently out on Rotted Life Productions. Rotted Life Records. It's been a while since I've shown a Rotted Life release on here. I feel like for a while there, I was buying almost everything new that they came out with, and I've kind of slacked off for it. But yeah, this one came out not too long ago. I kind of slept on it. It came out in May, end of May. I slept on it for a little while. Again, another one of those bands that I've been seeing circulating on the social media space, people talking about it on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I've seen it trending in Bandcamp, kind of ignored it. And then finally, when I saw, who was it? I feel like somebody on Twitter, I can't remember who, somebody who I follow and talk to quite a bit. I'm terrible at remembering where I'm getting this and finding this. Talked about how great of an EP this was. So I finally went and listened to it, and I bought it from Rotted Life. So there is a record. I'm pretty sure it's sold out. So I settled with the tape. So let's show off the tape right now. This is cosmic death metal. I mean, you pretty much know what you're going to get with that. I don't think I need to go into any other further explanation of what you're going to be listening to. Definitely just an assault of riffs. Very, very good written death metal. I was pleasantly surprised at how good this was. Like, it kind of kicked my face in when I heard it, and I was like, wow, why did I sleep on this so much? This is a really good EP. Makes me want more, 100%. I would love a full-length album, so hopefully that'll be coming soon. So here's the J card, and this is still available. There's also another version of this tape. It's like an all-over printed tape. It's more limited, but I just went with the basic one. I didn't care what I got. I just literally clicked add to cart and bought it. So phenomenal stuff. The cover is by Shogoth Kinetics, amazing artist. Shout out to him. But yeah, good stuff. So definitely check this out. It's that modern death metal sound with the old school death metal, like cosmic death metal feel to it. You definitely have a mixture of both, but it's done really, really well. And like I said, phenomenal release. This is a phenomenal EP. Definitely going to be probably, I don't necessarily track EPs and demos a whole lot throughout the year. I did last year and the year before, but I haven't really paid much attention to a lot of them so far this year. This is one of the very few. But I definitely will do a year-end list of my favorite EPs and demos. I just need to go back and like figure out what's been released and stuff. But this is phenomenal. Definitely check this out. Okay, now we're moving on to a stack of CDs of just new releases that I got in. All of these are on major labels, so I'm not going to do any sound clips on them. Also, you probably have already heard them. This is more of just showing off the CD and talking about what I feel about the album. But the first one is the new Malignancy album, discontinued on Willowtip Records. Do I need to even talk about Malignancy? Like, I just feel like if you're watching this video, chances are you probably know who this brutal technical death metal band is. They're pretty legendary in my book. One of my favorite, more brutal death metal style of bands. Was a huge fan of their first album. I didn't note it, but I know it's Cannibalism. That's the end of it. Blanking on it. But I've always been a fan of their albums, so I was pretty excited about this. I really liked the promo that I got for it and listened to it, and I finally ordered it, and it finally came in. So what you're getting with this is essentially just what you've heard already. It's brutal death metal with the technical death metal feel. It's got the really, really solid technical guitar structures. They write really good songs in that regard. If you're not a fan of technical death metal, you're probably not going to like this, especially if you're not a fan of brutal death metal, because they really incorporate a lot of it. At times, it feels like there's a little bit of paying homage to some of the, older school sounding bands like Suffocation at times, but it's nowhere near as like brutally and assaulting as Cryptopsy's first two albums or anything like that. Like, just to be honest with you, it's got really, really smooth transitions within songs. The riffs are really well written. It's digestible. It's not so much noodle soup that it just completely destroys your brain. You're trying to figure out what you're listening to, which can happen with technical death metal. I've talked about that several times on here. It's just very in your face. It's a loud album. It's very aggressive, and it's good. I mean, with that album artwork, of course it's going to be. But does it like break any barriers or anything that you haven't heard before? No. I mean, just to be honest with you, but it's a fun listen. It's been good to listen to. It's nice to have a new album like this in the collection. And it has been a while since they released their record, right? Their last one was out in 2019. So yeah, I mean, it's been quite a few years in between. So my case came a little bit funky. It's broken. So we're going to just take it apart. Here's the CD. As per usual, jewel cases. God, I love the artwork on this. It's so just like awesome. Like sci-fi horror awesome. And then here is the booklet. Again, Willowtip Records. It says the artist in the tray artwork is done by Tony Cosgrove. Yeah, so awesome stuff. This is a really good band. It's a solid album. I don't really have any negative things to say about it whatsoever. But again, it's not anything that's like groundbreaking. You've heard it before. It's a lot of the similar sounding of their past couple of releases, but it is good. It's enjoyable. And it's it's a good brutal death metal album with that technical death metal in there with all the riffage. And then here's the back of the CD. So iconic band. They've been around since the late 90s. They've released several good releases. Band is also out of New York, so New York death metal at its finest. So definitely check this out. It's worthy of a listen to. And again, I just love that album artwork. It's so good. The next one that I got in, again, another bigger release here. A band that needs absolutely no introduction, I feel like, at this point. And if it does, then I highly recommend you going back and listening to their back catalog. The new Severe Torture album. What is this called again? Torn from the Jaws of Death, out on Season Mist. Season of Mist, which I often forget sometimes has bands like this on their label. I associate mostly black metal to their label. I don't know why, but anyway, yeah, this is fucking phenomenal. I got the promo for it. I listened to it. I fully planned on doing a review, and then I just said, no, I'm just burnt out. I don't feel like doing this right now. But this is their 6th full-length album. Obviously, feasting on blood and misanthropic. God, I can't fucking talk. Carnage, you know that album, are some of my favorite albums in their discography. But this is really good. This band is out of the Netherlands. If you're not familiar, this is just really well written death metal. It's fun. At times it sounds like a mix of Cannibal Corpse and Suffocation. There's definitely pays a lot of homage to the older Florida school death metal bands of like Morbid Angel, and then there's Deicide, and sometimes every once in a while I hear a little bit of a Deeds of Flesh. Like if you're a fan of all of those bands, you'll really enjoy this if you've never heard Severe Torture. Just phenomenal album. So it comes in a digipack, which whatever, Season Mist generally does them okay, so I don't get too upset about getting those. But I've noticed that they haven't been really doing a lot of jewel cases lately. I don't know what's up with that. But it does come with a booklet. Gotta say, my only criticism is album artwork is just okay, but that's not a big deal. That's not really a criticism. I mean, it's still cool looking, but not as graphic in nature of their past releases. Just lyrics, yeah, and then here you go, band liner notes. So basically, if you like Morbid Angel, you're gonna like this album. There's a lot of that influence and sound here. If you've never heard of Severe Torture, there's even some like vomitory sounds in here as well. Basically, it's a really, really good death metal album, and it's really good actually. It slaps. That's what I've been telling people. It's got great riffs, just really, really good stuff. So definitely one of my favorite releases to come out so far recently. When did this come out? It came out very recently. June 7th, so it's only been out for a month, and this has just been phenomenal. I've been spinning this quite a bit. I've listened to it several times. Just a big fan of this band. I really enjoy it, so definitely check this out if you haven't yet. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is not death metal in the slightest, but I've had this for quite a while now. Lost my notes. I clicked off it on accident. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, I'm such a huge fan of this band. So at this point, anything that they release, I just enjoyed. There are a few stinkers in their discography, I will be honest with you. But this album in particular, this is by far one of my favorite releases this year. What I'm talking about is the new Rotting Christ Pro Cristo. I think I said that right. Album. So basically, what I like about this album is that it's so easy to listen to. It's very flows and not assaulting your ears. Like, it's kind of just a more laid back album than what I normally listen to. Some people are saying it's boring. I've seen some of the criticism around it, but I think the exact opposite. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of this band. There are some albums that I am not a huge fan of. Someday I should do like a discography ranking. Some of the like later 2000s albums, like Alio, is that how you say it? And just names that I can't. Rituals maybe is one. Another one that I wasn't a huge fan of. Some of their past releases I haven't been the biggest fan of, and I admittedly don't listen to. I love the Heretics that came out in 2019. I was a big fan of that album. But again, this doesn't scratch the surface of what has come out in their earlier days of the 90s, early 90s, like the Mighty Contract and those first few albums. But their sound definitely has transitioned quite a bit. This is more of a cleaner sounding album. There's just cleaner vocals. There's singing. And it's very cinematic. Feels like you're listening to a movie. Like, I mean, with that album artwork, yeah. So this is on Season of Mist. Like I said, this has been out for a while. I've been waiting to talk about this. I really wanted to fully digest it and get it in my head. It came out at the end of May. I think it was May 24th. And I've just been hooked on it. I'm not going to lie. I really like this album. I understand why some people don't enjoy it. And they think that it's boring and it's just not Rotting Christ that they really fully enjoy. I, on their hand, really, really like the like melodic aspect to it. That's also why I like the new Bear album that came out last year. I like this style of black metal, even though it's not like the traditional style of black metal that you're used to hearing. that Greek area of, what is it called, the Hellenic black metal scene. I really enjoy where they're going in the scene with this. So this is, again, Season of Mist digipack here. Very pretty digipack. It's got some very glossy, and this is all like embossed on here. Same with the cover art. I actually might get this on record because I've been listening to it so much. This has lived in my car ever since I gotten it. And then here is the booklet. So spitting this on wax, I just love the artwork. Very, very classic feeling with Satan worshiping. But really, really awesome artwork. I mean, just look at that. Like what you would find in an art museum. These oil paintings. I forgot who the artist was. I'm blanking on it now. I probably should look and see. Where do you say it? There is a motif across this whole entire album where some of the similar like vocal styles and riffs get played throughout it. So some of the songs do sound the same. That's probably my only criticism of the album, is that the songs sound the same and you can almost not decipher them, or you might actually think that, wait, didn't I just listen to this song? But no, it's definitely a different song. So that's probably the only criticism I have on it, but that's not a deterrent for me whatsoever. It does not say the artist in here, I don't think. Anyway, I'll put it in the description when I find it. I know I've seen the artist called out on social media and stuff, but for whatever reason, I'm not seeing it on here. So just fucking everything up for this video. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this album. This is definitely going to be one of my absolute... Oh, here it is. Hello. Cover artwork painting, The Course of Empire by Thomas Cole between 1833 and 1836. So this is an old painting. They got it from the New York Historical Society Museum. That's awesome. And then other paintings are by other artists from the 1800s. Wow, there's a lot of them. There's every single painting in the booklet is a different artist. That's awesome. So yeah, these are old school paintings that are seen in museums, like I mentioned. So yeah, awesome stuff. Love this album. I love how melodic it is. I sing it all the time. It's just very cinematic. It feels like you're listening to a movie. Soundtrack, very, very good. Iconic band. I don't think I need to talk anymore about Rotting Christ. And then finally, the last thing I'm going to show off. I did show this off in another video, a vinyl update video, just because it casually got it in the same day, but I'll show it off on here. The new 200 Sad Wounds album was this called Manic Procedures. I did get the record, showed it off in another video, and then casually showed this one off, but I know for the CD heads, I'll show it off in full. Metal Blade Records, second full-length album, nasty, filthy, disgusting death metal. You guys know I'm such a huge fan of this band, so I figured I'd show off the CD a little bit more in depth. Here you go, the artwork there. Take the CD out, and you get some more grabby grabs right there of the voluptuous area. And then the booklet is very similar to the vinyl jacket, which I did not show this in my previous video, but it is just the lyrics and then more gory artwork here. So yeah, that's all. I've already talked about this. Love this album. Think it's great. Wish the songs are slightly longer. Leaves me wanting more. That's pretty much the only criticism I have. And that is all that I have for this update today. Let me know your thoughts on all these. Have you listened to them all? Again, all brand new releases that have come out within the last couple of months and weeks. I've pumped it all out in one video. I have several things coming now. I actually got a ton of new records for my birthday. People went all out and got me a bunch of new things. So I have a pretty massive vinyl update coming hopefully this week. I will record it if I have time. That's all I have today. I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I will see you in the next one.